Hey there, Nation. Welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander CheapSkate, and we are back with another edition of Bhooy Side. Specifically, this is our Chaos Legion army build. So this is our series, our limited series, Down with the Sickness. And as you can see, since the last time I posted the video, my army has grown quite considerably over the past few weeks and all the painting that I've done. So the last time we visited this army, we actually took a look at my Plague Bearers. It's a huge, honking huge unit of 40 Plague Bearers, so that part was actually kind of cool. And we also took a look at my Chaos Warriors, the Dustmen. You guys already met these guys already. You've seen these guys in multiple battle reports up to this point. Now, the latest additions to my miniatures are these guys up here in the front rank. I have a great unclean one that's fully painted, 6 bases of Nurglings, a Chaos Sorcerer on a Paladin of Nurgle, and finally I have my Hortulix Slimix. Horticulus, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Slimix, he is a special character who's also one of the tallymen from Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So we're going to talk about exactly how these guys were all painted up and exactly what kind of look we were going for. So that being said, let's get this video on a roll. Alright, so first of all, let's go start talking about my Nurglings real quick. So here's a close-up of my little Nurglings. As you can see, I have 6 bases of Nurglings. Like I said before, a majority of this army is actually made up from 2 different kits. The first one is a start collecting box of Demons of Nurgle. It came with 3 of the Nurglings, and I believe it also came with 20 Plague Bearers, as well as a, a Herald of Nurgle, I believe. And also 3 Plague Drones is what I came with. And then, of course, I got the Blight War box set for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and that's where I got most of these guys from. So you can see these are just your typical Nurglings is all they are. I just painted up really quick. As you can see, the bases I went for a slimy kind of toxic-y kind of base to match my Plague Bearers. These were actually very, very quick to paint. All I had to really do is base coat them in Rust-Oleum olive drab paint. I then dry brushed them with some kiwi paint. As you saw in my video how to paint Chaos Demon Plague Bearers very cheaply in my earlier video. Use exactly the same technique. I then used my homemade blood gore effect using some Minwax polyacrylic as well as some cheap red acrylic paint. And that's where I got the the bloody look from. And of course I used my homemade Nurgle Rots effect. It was just nothing more than just mixing some lime green ink with some polyacrylic to make all the slime. So these guys came out really, really awesome. I like the way these little Nurglings came out. I just love the way these sculpts are. They're so full of character and just like so much full of mischievousness. It's actually kind of cool. The next 2 miniatures I also painted was this guy here. This is my Chaos Sorcerer on a Paladin of Nurgle, or I can run him as a Chaos Lord if I want to. Either one is perfectly fine. I didn't really want to spend money on actually buying the Paladin of Nurgle from the, what's his name? I forgot the guy's name. He's the Tallyman special character that, Epidemus, that's his name. He rides a Paladin of Nurgle. I didn't feel like doing that. However, I did have a bunch of spare Nurglings that I had left over from the Nurgling kits that these guys came from. And basically that's all a Paladin of Nurgle is, just a bunch of Nurglings carrying a dude around. So that's what I decided to do. So I just took a 50mm base, just put a bunch of little Nurglings all over the place, and of course I got this character to play him. Now, if anybody plays War Machines, you might recognize this guy. I believe the army is called Minnoth, I think is what they're called. They're the religious fanatic guys who, worship technology or whatever. I don't play War Machines or Hordes. I just had a spare model because my buddy gave me a couple of his old models, and I had this guy who spread around, and, he looked all very Warhammery, but he looks like a religious figure, like a cardinal. So I call this guy the Carrion Cardinal. He's got a very much like a Ghost vibe going on from him. If you guys know who that heavy metal band is, Ghost is, that's what this guy kind of reminded me of. And I was listening to Rats when I was painting this guy up because it kind of reminded me of that. So yeah, that's where this guy came from. I can run him as a Chaos Lord or as a Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Either way, it works out pretty cool. I kind of painted him up to the same kind of design as the Death Guard was in Warhammer 40k. The 30k version. As you can see, I got like the lime green armor plating going on, bordered in gold, like you do in Warhammer. And I went for that bone white color for the robes to make them look a little bit like something from 40k. And of course, I got my blood effect as well as my Nurgle's rot effect as well to make them look properly diseased. Then I also painted up Hortulix Slimex, I believe is his name. He's the special character from Warhammer Age of Sigmar. He came in the Blight Wars box set. I just like the way this guy looks. You know, he's like this kind of slouching looking plague bearer on a giant snail monster, which is just awesome. Apparently, according to the lore, he's like a gardener that tends to the garden of Nurgle. Lots of small details on this miniature and just looks really, really cool. I know this miniature is kind of controversial to most hobbyists because they feel that the miniature is a little cartoony. I mean, you have this little Nurgling being used as a bait stick to like lead this snail around, and I guess I can see how it can be a little cartoony, but at the same time though, I really like the way this miniature came out. It's got a lot of little details, like you got these potted plants and you got, you know, vials and all kinds of weird stuff going on with this guy as well. I pretty much painted up this miniature exactly the same way I did my Plague Bears, just the olive drab spray paint from Estolium, dry brush with some kiwi paint from Apple Barrel, and then of course I just dry brushed the shell with various shades of antique white, khaki, as well as I think off-white is what it was from Apple Barrel, to get that nice little texture look to it. Put a lot of blood effects, as well as a lot of Nurgle rot effect that I made from my homemade kit. As you can see here, I got it out there on the base. And I just kind of slimed it right over here on the little plow that he's dragging behind him to represent that he's like, you know, destroying the earth as he's going through. The nice thing about this miniature is I could use him for Warhammer Age of Sigmar as a special character, or I could use him, in this case, I'm planning on using him as probably a war shrine is probably what I'm planning to run him as, or I could just run him as a demon character or a chaos character on top of a, you know, monster of some sort, because, you know, proxying is life and you can do that. So that's what I plan to do with that guy. This guy had a lot of nice details on him. It's just really fun to paint this guy up, and I'm really happy with the result, the way it came out. Alright, and the very last miniature I painted up is my Great Unclean One. And this one is pretty cool because it's actually a really heavy miniature. It's from the 4th edition of Warhammer. I'm sorry, 5th edition of Warhammer, I believe. It's the one that came out back in the late 90s. They had the re-releasing of the Chaos Armies, where they actually, for the first time, divided the Chaos Army into 3 different armies into Chaos Demons, Warriors of Chaos, and Beastmen, and you can kind of combine them as well. And so this is what this guy is. He's from that kit out, and this is a pewter Great Unclean One, just to show you what the size was originally of these Greater Demons. So he came out really awesome. This miniature I've had for a very, very long time. It originally belonged to my buddy back when I was in high school, who actually was playing demons. I was playing Nurgle. And so he had all the Chaos Demons, and so he had this one here. And he decided to give it to me because, you know, he wasn't into it anymore, and I was. Now, there is a problem with this miniature. I don't know if you can tell, but if you notice his right arm... I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah, his left arm, sorry. His left arm here is actually supposed to be like raised up, and he's supposed to be carrying this giant chain flail behind him, as you can see here. But the problem was I had the hand, I had the chain flail, but I didn't have the arm when he gave it to me. So all I did is I just stuck it where the joint where the arm used to be, threw in some green stuff, as you can see right there. You can kind of see the seam there, and just put the arm inside of it because, you know, it's a Nurgling thing, so anything that's all screwed up looking about it just kind of works out for the most part. This was a pretty simple miniature to paint. I just pretty much used the same technique I used for my Plague Bearers, in that I painted them up with that olive drab spray paint, then dry brushed, paint the bone accents, and of course all the, you know, the pussy bits, as well as the sores and the rips in the skin and stuff. I just put in my homemade blood effect and homemade Nurgle's rot effect as well. Painting the eyes blue to make it look like they're glowing a little bit. This sword was actually pretty cool to came up with. I just made it with a rusted metal look and just covered it with Nurgle's rot to make it look like it's slick with poison and such. I'm really happy with the way that this guy came out as well. Just kind of very, very detailed looking and really, really awesome. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one, you guys. As you can see, we got quite a bit of the army already completed. The only thing I have left to do for this Chaos Legion is to plant up 6 rot flies, is what I have to do. I'm sorry, not rot flies, plague drones. There we go. I have 6 plague drones I got to paint up, and then this army will be fully completed. So that's going to do it for this one, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest news about our hobby. That's good for this one, you guys. You guys stay classy. Peace out, you guys. We'll catch you in the next one.